What is going on, guys? This is the MMA Complex. My name is Josh.
And I'm James.
We're back. Brand new episode. We did we take last week off? I think.
Yeah, I think you had to.
We had something to do, right?
You had to work. I think you had to work that those days.
Yeah, our schedules were like conflicting. So yeah, we didn't do an episode last week. We're lucky, to finally be able to do one this week. It was a little later in the week. It's a Thursday, May 15th. No, it's Wednesday, May 15th. Actually, we usually do them on Wednesday, so never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. A good weekend of fights this past weekend. We're getting caught up on a couple of things. We haven't seen each other for about a little over a week now, 2 weeks, and just getting up, kind of catching up on some things. Got some good fights coming up this weekend. Good fights last weekend were freaking amazing. Did you able to catch some of those fights?
Yeah, I caught
UFC?
I caught some of the Bellator. I caught most of the UFC on Periscope.
Good card, man. Good cards all around. Caught them on DAZN. You had I didn't watch the DAZN fights, the Bellator fights.
I watched them after the fact.
Yeah, I watched them after the fact. YouTube has puts the fights up pretty quick. And the highlights. So those are great, man. We'll get to Bellator right now. But Rose Namajunas and Jessica Andrade, headline 237 in Rio. That was another great card.
Yeah, the two douchebags of the weekend lost their titles, which I was happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had Michael Chandler comment. I hate that guy now.
Let's get into Bellator real quick. So Bellator had their Bellator 221. It was Chandler versus Pitbull. That was in Rosemont, Illinois. That was on May 11th.
Solid card,
man. Taiwan Claxton defeats James Bennett. TKO strikes. You had James Yeager defeating TJ Jones. I don't know if you've seen the pictures and videos of TJ Jones. I think he's a beef farmer or something like that, and he looked like a. Did you see the pictures of him at the weigh-ins and all that?
I haven't, no.
Oh, it was not pretty. He had like a backwards hat. He looked like a hillbilly. Backwards hat. He had a plaid shirt. You had James Hager with a.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with the suit.
Okay, yeah. Because he looked like a kid.
Yeah, he looked like a kid.
Like he looked like a fanboy.
Yeah, he looked like what's his name from Pawn Stars? Chum.
Yeah, he reminded me of like a kid from the 2000 era. They're into like the new metal scene.
Yeah.
So he reminded me of.
Yes, he kind of looked like that. So he looked like that. He looked like a kid. It's just a grown ass kid. James Yeager defeats him, and that's a submission. Yeah, a submission arm triangle. Mm-hmm. People are saying he held the submission a little bit long. I don't know if you caught the highlights of that one.
No, I actually saw that. Yeah, because I want to see how Jack Hager was doing in the second fight.
Now his explanation was that he was, I guess, tapping pretty quick or pretty hard, so it felt like he was just punching him. And it wasn't until like the ref started, he felt the ref pulling his arm that he let go.
Yeah, Jack mentioned that backstage. Mike Beltran, shout out one of my friends. Told him that just don't stop fighting until I pull you off.
Yeah.
Then once I pull you off, that means the fight's over. I mean, he should know a tap's a tap, but he might be just either he's being honest and he thought they were punches.
Or he held it a little bit long. Yeah. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, this guy was holding a little bit long. I'm not mad at it necessarily, but it is like you're still kind of green. You shouldn't really be doing that kind of stuff. You should be a little bit more respectful.
I like that the Bellator is doing his push slow, but
is it too slow?
Is it too much of an easy road? His opponent just looked too much like a kid. I couldn't I couldn't take him seriously. Like he needs to fight maybe a top 15 guy.
Yeah, I don't think he was a kid, but he was like he was a grown ass.
Yeah, he looked like
man,
a kid,
but looked like a boy. I think maybe they're giving him too many easy fights. It's like they're setting up too many softballs.
Yeah, but then again, to play devil's advocate, this is what they do in boxing. They give you
softballs.
These type of opponents.
Yeah,
it's 30 of those kind of opponents in a row before you get to a title shot, just to build that record.
Now he does have a collegiate background. With that background, do you think they should, that give and with the name, should they give him a little bit stiffer competition?
I think Bellator should take advantage of the fact that he's a former pro wrestler, former WWE superstar,
a former collegiate wrestler,
and a collegiate wrestler as well.
Yeah,
and they should take advantage of that and maybe give him a top 20, top 15 guy, and really give him that push a proper push.
Yeah, I think we should expect this kind of slow grow, at least for the next year and a half.
But at the same time, with Bellator, they don't have too many known.
No, they don't.
Top 15 guys.
Yeah.
So any guy he fights now, most likely we will know who that person is. I think I think Bellator has top 5, top 10 guys that are still not really known casually, but hardcore MMA fans kind of know who these guys are. But when it comes to top 15, top 20, not even the hardcore fans know who these guys are.
And we get mad at the UFC when they get guys that deserve like a slow push, and they put them into the fire pretty quick. Bellator is a little bit better about growing their guys. Now it's a little harder for Jake Yeager because he has a name, but I think
he's a veteran, like a veteran heavyweight that's going out of his way.
But I think if you get like a decent local heavyweight, with a record that's somewhat near Jake's, then it's fine. I think if you in the Bellator, they don't have a whole lot of in between. No, it's either low level or like you got the top of the top. Mm-hmm. So it's I think they have to go this route.
But the one positive thing is that the booing ran down on him at the end of the fight because of him holding on to the submission. Yeah, and he got a lot of heat for it. And I think having heat, whether it be good or bad, is a good thing.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be like this for a little while longer. I'm not upset about it. I actually prefer them to give guys a slower grow and grow into their careers. You have AJ McKee defeating Pat Curran. Now AJ McKee is on a roll. Obviously, he comes from the same camp as Aaron Pico. Now, from what I hear and what the reports are coming out, is that Aaron Pico has left that gym. And he's gone over the Jacksons.
Yeah, he's with Jackson full time now. So what they tried him out.
So what that tells me is that at the place that AJ and Aaron Pico are at right now, they're getting to that point where that conversation has to happen. Whereas what happens when we're both at the top? Yeah. And since they're both at the top, and I would say AJ McKee has had a better record as of late, a better streak, and has I think AJ's a little bit different. Where Aaron Pico has a lot of spotlight on him. He's kind of rushing these fights. He's got a lot of pressure on his back. AJ doesn't have that pressure, so AJ is able to be comfortable in there and express himself and his skill set fully. Whereas Aaron has to he's going in there with so much pressure and so many eyeballs that he's looking for that finish, and it's come back to bite him in the ass a couple of times. Yeah. So I think now that they're at the top, it tells me that there's talks now of this a showdown at some point is going to happen.
That's true. I think too. Aaron Pico had said that he went there to try out. Mm-hmm. He loved it. I think for Aaron Pico, it's a win-win situation when it comes to hit that camp because he has guys at a high level that he can work out with on a daily basis. That's going to help him grow, and he has arguably the two best coaches in MMA with Greg Jackson and John Wigglejohn.
A lot of fighters that can mentor him that are at a high level.
Yeah, and then I think that being there too, if he ever decides to go to the UFC, is a perfect way to the UFC. Yeah. So I think when Aaron Pico sat down and compared the guys that he has to work with Jackson versus where he was formerly, I think it's a win situation for Aaron Pico. So I think that had to do too with that decision to be made. Yeah.
Now AJ McKee looked great. He defeated Pat Curran, the veteran. I really think that AJ is on his way to fighting for a title soon. The guys come up and he looks great. He shows up every time, and he is able to. He looks like a veteran in there. He fights like a veteran. And he's just a smart, intelligent fighter that against him and Aaron Pico, at this point, I'll probably give the edge to AJ, just based on his ability to stay calm and his ability to show his full arsenal. Mm-hmm. Whereas Aaron could get a little stuck in his a little stubborn.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. At this point, I would probably give the edge to AJ, especially him also being a bigger fighter, a bigger guy.
Me too.
So Douglas Lima defeats Michael Venom Page in the welterweight Grand Prix. I think the second round, via knockout. Second round, 35 seconds in. How crazy was this one?
That was a weird knockout.
How crazy that was!
The leg kick, and then it just
he timed it perfectly.
Timed it and just landed the perfect shot, and that put MVP out. Now before this fight,
did you watch the fight?
The whole fight. Yeah,
the whole fight's on YouTube.
Yeah.
First round was not much going on. It was, I think, Lima and Venom Page's guard.
Yeah.
For the majority of the round.
Yeah.
On the feet, it was no one really had any big moments on the feet in the first round.
It's pretty much them flinching at each other, and right. It wasn't much action. But I think before this fight was even announced, people were people wanted to see MVP get tested.
Yeah,
they finally gave him a big name, and
and
he didn't show up.
His first time getting tested was against Paul Daly. That was
and
he didn't do too well in that one.
I mean, he was going to take it down at will.
Yeah. And he's 14 and he was a 13 and no, he was a 14 and he was an undefeated fighter. Now with Venom Page is that he's been in the game for so long. He's been in Bellator since like 2013, I think.
Yeah.
And it's taken him this long to fight guys at his such a high level, and he's had that spotlight on him the entire time. I think in a lot of ways he's like I think he's in his 30s now. Early to mid 30s.
He probably wasted his career.
I think
nobodies.
I think he wasted a little bit too much time fighting nobodies. That's what I think. I think that edge, that confidence that he had in his like late 20s is not. It's kind of starting to catch up with him a little bit.
Yeah, because you slow down with age.
Yeah,
and I blame Bellator as much as I blame MVP for accepting those fights.
Yeah,
I mean, you build a star. But when you see that star getting, positive reaction, you book him.
Now, let's not take away from his opponents as of late. He's fighting top level competition now. I think we're seeing a mix of that. I think we're seeing a mix of that in terms of him waiting a little bit too long to fight that top competition, and also that top competition testing him and really showing where he is. Where he's at and how that skill set applies when fighting the top level, and it's not going so well for him.
It's not,
and Douglas Lima. I love Douglas Lima. We're fans of Douglas Lima. He's such a nice guy. I like watching him fight. He carries himself when he talks to him. He's super nice, very respectful, very just very calm person. Looks like a very mean, intimidating guy, but he's not at all. And I think he fought this fight perfectly, and he timed the kick perfectly, and then set up the punch on the way up. And it was this picture perfect, man. It was like a walk. It was like a walk off almost. A couple shots and then walk off.
But I mean, what does that mean from here? Like losing in that fashion. Because at some point he's gonna win fights again, and he's gonna have to fight these top guys again. Is he gonna succeed? We'll find out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where he goes from here. Douglas Lima moves on into the tournament. Yeah, I don't know where he goes from here. It's going to be interesting to see. Well, I don't think his stock has fallen. This is his first loss. People are going to kind of write it off at him fighting a top level guy, and I think his next fight is going to have a lot of pressure on him. He's probably going to get another top level name, maybe someone that just got out of the tournament, maybe like a Jon Fitch versus MVP. That would be a good one. As an alternate, get in there as an alternate backup. I don't know if Jon Fitch really wants it. I think Jon Fitch will probably win that fight too. I don't know. Easily.
If Paul Daly could take you down, it will.
I think MVP.
But it's also a step down for Fitch because that fight doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he just fought Rory, and a lot of people say he beat Rory. So it's and actually we haven't even done an episode since then. But I just think that it's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting next return for MVP Michael Venom Page.
Yeah.
His next time out. Douglas Lima moves on. He's just he's up there. It's gonna be great, man. This tournament is taking a little bit longer than I think we would all have liked.
Yeah.
But the fights are turning out to be really great. You have in the main event, Pitbull Frey defeating Patricio Pitbull defeating Michael Chandler in the first round, the closing minute, and winning the lightweight title and becoming the champ. What'd you think? Early stoppage. Michael Chandler is claiming early stoppage.
Of course,
I didn't see an early stoppage.
He reminds me of TJ so much. I don't know. Yeah. I can't stand that guy.
Did a lot of talking before this fight.
Yeah, I mean, this fight had a lot of history attached to it.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys had bad blood going on, and I think Chandler defeated his brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was heat, and yeah, you're right. Chandler talked a lot,
but not even about Pitbull so much, about everybody else and everything else.
Yeah, exactly. And he stuck his nose where it didn't belong when it comes to Roy and his his comments after his loss. His win, his draw.
Talking about the
Jon Fitch fight.
Yeah, talking about the religion, saying that he has God on his fight and doesn't mind him.
Yeah, it's like, shut up.
Yeah,
like, don't be a douchebag. I mean, like, it has nothing to do with you, but yeah, I mean, your God made you lose, I guess, because he lost bad.
Yeah,
and I don't think it was an early stoppage, and I think he got what he deserved. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm happy he lost.
Yeah, yeah. No, he lost. Yeah, he talked about he criticized McDonald's comments, saying that my God doesn't really mind me fighting in the cage, blah blah blah. So that he criticized Roy McDonald's comments, and then he talked about USADA, and he's like, "Oh, I see other fighters getting tested by USADA. I wish that was me.
Yeah,
I wish USADA come and test me.
His own promotion.
I get jealous when other guys get tested by USADA. I'm like, but you signed like a 6-fight deal.
He had a chance to go to the UFC.
You had a chance to go to the UFC,
but he doesn't want to fight the best. No. He doesn't want to fight the best.
No, that's why it's like you had a chance to go to the UFC. You had a chance to go get you tested by USADA. You had a chance to maybe take a pay cut and go into the UFC and fight the top level. And prove yourself. But no, you signed like a 6-year deal, say a 6-fight deal with. You pretty much signed the rest of your career off with Bellator.
Yeah,
you have no right to even make those claims and those comments. It's like, why are you even saying that kind of stuff?
That's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, you just signed a deal not that long ago. Yeah. And will Bellator adopt USADA into their program? No, there's no reason for it. They do a lot of their fights in California, which is probably the best tested testing commission in the whole country. So no, they do perfectly fine here. But yeah, was I happy he lost? Do I think he has douchebag? Yeah. I mean, it's a fighter. It's a fight where shit happens. If they win or lose, I don't really care too much. But where his comments really showed his character.
But it's funny because I remember specifically UFC on Fox 4.
Yeah.
When Brandon Vera fought Shogun.
Yeah.
We were there. We were at the hotel. And we were sitting with Brandon Vera. Remember that? And
yeah.
We were sitting when Brandon Vera gave us his fight shirt. And Chandler was there. And he was telling us about his Christian shirt line.
That was I barely remember Chandler being there. Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
And he was telling us about his company.
Yeah, his company, his Christian company.
Yeah, Christian company. He's all God, and now look at him now. Like, come on.
yeah, that was a while. Yeah, it was a while ago, man.
It was crazy because he was talking directly to us. Like, we were having a full conversation.
Yeah, we were having a full conversation with Chandler. Yeah, he had come up with his T-shirt line. It was like a Christian-based T-shirt line. It was around the time. What year was that? You guys could look it up. Probably 2011.
Yeah, 12, but I remember hanging out with Brandon Vera. We were hanging out with Brandon Vera's team.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a fight shirt with the blood on it and everything.
Yeah, I saw it in my drawer. I should hang it up here in the studio. But yeah, Chandler was there. He was hanging out
Chandler was there. He was there. I remember that. Yeah, no, I did. Now I remember that. I almost forgot him being there.
I was thinking about that the whole time. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy.
No, I think with Patricio's his accomplishment being a champ, I think it's kind of gone under the The radar, like it had. No one's really talking about it.
They're talking about Chandler's loss and his complaints.
Yeah, that's about it. So I think him being a champ, it's a big deal. It's like the first champ in Bellator.
Yeah,
but it's not getting any love at all.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of gone under the radar a little bit. Unfortunate for Patricio, but actually in that sense, he's not getting a lot of love on the media about his being the first time double champ in Bellator. But I think he's, his name is established, his legacy is established. Both of them are. They've been fighting for so long. They're still tough as nails, and I think there's probably going to be a rematch at some point. Chandler's probably going to push for a rematch, claim early stoppage, and it was an early fight, early finish. So, yeah, I could see them running that back again. And why not? They don't have a whole lot of big fights, and that'll probably be one of them that they could do. They could run back. And then also this weekend you had UFC 237, same night I believe, as Rose Namajunas versus Jessica Andrade. On the prelim card to kick off the prelim card, you had ESPN Plus prelims. You had Clay Guida and BJ Penn opening up the ESPN prelims. Those undercard prelims are actually pretty good. I don't know if you watch all of them.
I think I watched only the BJ Penn.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. What do you want to say about Clay? Clay looking pretty good. He's had a little bit of a resurgence. Kind of staying up in the top level. BJ Penn, I don't know what you want to say. He's got the longest losing streak in the UFC history now. He has another record.
Yeah, I think 9 fights in
7, 8. Yeah, somewhere around there.
It's not 9. Oh, no, yeah, no, it is 7.
I think they're at 7.
7, yeah. 7 fights in the span of 9 years or something like that. Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because when people talk about his legacy, I mean, that's going to be brought up. I mean, I'm sure the first line coming out of someone's mouth is going to be, BJ Penn was a man, in his heyday, but then right after that comment, they're going to talk about his losing streak,
his record,
the fact that he fought too much, and like longer than he should have.
Yeah,
and it's kind of sad that the great BJ Penn has now the record for the longest losing streak in UFC history, a record that no one wants to have.
And there's no comment from Dana. No, I'm sure he's had discussions with BJ before, and BJ wants to fight, and he's in there, but he's not getting beat up. He's just not looking good. He's not winning. He's not, he's just losing.
Yeah,
and I guess that's the only excuse that Dana could probably give.
But Dana, like, he's always retiring fighters on his own.
I know.
I mean, why? How is this not different from the others?
Yeah, I don't know why, but BJ is continuing to fight. He said he still wants to fight. The hunger for competition is still there. How long will the UFC will put up with it? I think until
his last fight in the UFC, and then
I think until it starts looking bad, until he starts getting knocked out, until he starts getting just beat up in the first round, like a Chuck Liddell. Until he starts going out like a Chuck Liddell, they might not even say. They might just let him fight. I don't know.
I think he might fight till his last fight, his contract.
How many fights do you think he has on his contract? A couple?
Maybe a couple, but then I see him going to Bellator, and I see Bellator signing him, and then I see the same pattern.
Yeah, whether he's in the UFC or not, I see him
fight.
I see him fighting. Yeah,
he can fight for Combate. He can fight for anything.
Yeah,
at this point,
he can fight for anything. So it's unfortunate the mind of a fighter. I guess sometimes it's just they don't know when to quit, or they don't want to say no, and I get it. This is your career. This is who's gonna tell you to stop doing what you love to do.
When you can't win a fight, and
when you can't win a fight,
amount of years,
yeah. But I guess you don't want Bellator, you don't want any of these other promotion, Ryzen, all these other fight, ONE FC and Combate, all these other promotions out there picking him up and promoting his name. And him getting hurt somewhere else where they're not going to take care of him.
Yeah, I think he should just go to EBI or those kind of competitions.
Yeah,
but I don't see him doing it.
I don't see him doing it. I don't even know how well he would do because those guys do jiu-jitsu full time, and he is not a full time jiu-jitsu type person. Even though he's a high level guy, he's not that. He's never been that guy. It's unfortunate, man. We'll see how it goes. It doesn't look like it's ending anytime soon. You have Wally Alves defeating Sergio Moraes. You have Thiago Moises defeating Kurt Holoban. You have Ryan Spann defeating Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira by this is a little nog by a KO punches in the first round. That was a sick KO right there. And then in the main card, you have Irene Aldana defeating Bethe Correia by submission armbar.
I saw that fight.
That was a great fight right there. Irene looking great against the veteran Bethe, and Bethe kind of continuing a losing streak for her. Started going downhill. She made it to the top, and it's been a slow trickle back down. Yeah. And it's been unfortunate.
And I kind of felt bad for Rio because all the guys are losing except for the main event.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I was waiting to see how the main event was going to go. I was like, damn, they're going to go 0-5 on this card.
That's crazy.
But Irene Aldana picking up a win, looking good. Lorraine Strapoli defeating Thiago Alves. It frustrated me with this fight because Loreno, the Argentinian, looking good, mixing it up. Thiago Alves, you're the veteran. You have a skill set that you have pretty decent takedowns. You have your black belt in jiu-jitsu. You're pretty high level. A striking MMA striker. Great kicks. You're more of like a small compact guy, so you kind of like have to close the distance. So if that's not working out for you, why are you still? The whole time I'm watching this fight, I'm like, why aren't you just like going for a takedown? Why aren't you like mixing it up, pressing?
He looks so flat-footed in this fight too.
Like I don't.
He looked bad.
It's just some fighters, I don't get it, man. Like you're capable of it, and you actually showed flashes of it in like the last few minutes where you go
when it's too late.
When it's too late, and it doesn't matter. And I don't get it. Like the whole fight, you're struggling on the stand up, and you're hoping for that one big shot, but you're not that knockout artist. So you gotta like mix it up. You gotta mix it up. You gotta be a mixed martial artist. Thiago Alves could have won that fight if he would have played it smart.
Yeah.
And mixed it up just a little bit in each round. But he didn't. And he ends up losing. Unanimous decision. Alexander Volkanovski defeating José Aldo.
That's sad.
It is sad. Now, me watching the fight, granted, I was watching it, casually. I wasn't paying close attention to it. I thought it was probably 1-1 at the most.
I thought the same thing, to be honest.
And it wasn't like a complete shutout by Volkanovski.
No.
I thought it was a fairly close fight. And then it just seemed like Aldo in that third round just did absolutely nothing. Like he almost either took the round off or he was so tired that he just didn't really have it.
Maybe he suffered an injury during the second round.
Yeah, and he criticized his own performance. He said, "I've never fought that bad in my career before," and give it up to Volkanovski. He brought the fight to him, but that last round, if you probably look at the compy strikes, Aldo probably threw just a handful of punches the whole round. That's partially Volkanovski's approach, closing the distance, but Aldo did not do anything. He was even when in the exchanges, he was just kind of bobbing and weaving, evading punches. He barely threw anything of his own.
Yeah, it's frustrating to watch.
Yeah, it was, especially the last round.
Especially like, I kind of wanted him to win and maybe
go out on his career. Go out.
Yeah.
Because I think his next fight was supposed to be his last fight. He had 3 fights this year, and then that was it. But I think he's going to push it till early next year.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he goes out with the win. But his before this fight, he had a pretty good run.
Yeah, he did, and I think it was frustrating to watch that last round. Not because of Volkanovski winning. I'm happy for a guy like that winning, but the fact that José Aldo basically took that round off and didn't do anything and didn't even make it competitive. And in a fight that was a do or die for whoever in that third round, and he didn't make it competitive, and that was the frustrating part. Jared Cannonier defeating Anderson Silva TKO leg kicks. What'd you think about the stuff? A lot of people were like, "Oh, his knee blew out again," but it was really just Cannonier kind of picking apart that leg and Anderson not really checking it. And it was just...
No, I agree. I think before this fight, people were like, giving Anderson a lot of props for looking so well against these tough young up and comers. Mm-hmm. He looked great against Israel, even though he lost the fight.
Yeah.
He was one of those fighters where he's old and he's taking, he's fighting past his prime, but he's not getting beat up.
Yeah.
And he never really looked his age. I think this fight he looked like his age, like a 40-year-old fighter.
Yeah.
And I think that.
Do you think it's time?
I think it's time for him to retire. I think fighting guys like this doesn't do anything from his career.
No.
If he's going to continue fighting, he's just only focus on big names. Because why? I mean, there's no point of you fighting lesser opponents or not known opponents because it's going to hurt your legacy losing to these guys.
Yeah.
If you're going to fight, make sure it's going to count.
Yeah.
So I think he should just walk away. He's done everything he could do in the sport. He held the record for a long time before Mighty Mouse broke it, but he should walk away.
He should just walk away. It doesn't do anything for his career. Win, lose, he's, he only got that shot against Israel as a favor to like, hey, can you do this? And we, if you win, you'll get a title shot or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe knowing that fact that he was right there for another title shot is going to keep him around for a little bit longer. But I'm hoping at this fight, that's it. You don't want to go out like how BJ is going out. It's like, but BJ has never really cared about his record, and that's one of his problems in terms of picking fights. And he has never really cared about how he's been strategic about his career. Anderson, I think, has been a little bit more strategic about his career and his record, and his legacy, and he cared about it a lot. So I think to go out now at like 44 years old, fighting top level young guys, still in that, no one's gonna hate on you for that. No. So I think call it a day.
Yeah, I agree.
Go be an ambassador for the UFC in Brazil, man. You can make a lot of money that way. Jessica Andrade defeating Rosa Namajunas to win the strawweight title. Second round, a 258 mark, knockout slam. Like, how brutal was that slam? And Rose looked great in the first round, picking her shots.
Great. Her striking looked good. And she was on her way. I think if it wasn't for that slam, I think she would have won that fight.
Yeah. It was not looking good for Jessica Andrade. Second round comes in. Jessica Andrade kind of gets a little bit more aggressive. It starts headhunt Rose a little bit. They get into the scrambles, they get into the submission, picks up Rose and slams her, which it looked like straight up on her neck, on her back of her head.
That looked so scary. I thought she might broke her neck or become paralyzed. It's like one of those slams where if you land a different way.
Was it illegal? No, I don't think so.
No, but I think those kind of slams to the head should be illegal. I think it's too dangerous. But at the same time, how can you tell?
There's variations of it, like a spike. You can't spike anybody. The only reason that came close, only came close to it is because Rose held onto the submission, and most people would probably let go and kind of like try to reset. She held onto it and curled up mid kind of like drop. So when she landed, it looked pretty worse than it really did, but she landed more on the side of her face, shoulder part. Because when you had a full-on straight view of Rose, her mat, like the side of her face and her shoulder hit the mat. Like that. So she hits like that. She goes out. And it looked worse. It looked like it hit on the back of her head, but it was really just like the side part right here. So I is more of Rose kind of not in that moment letting go. She tightened up and curled up and kind of almost made it a little bit easier to for Andrade.
Yeah.
Was I sad about the victory? The loss? No. I criticized Rose. We criticized Rose in the past year or so. She hasn't fought since the bus incident. And that whole card. I think it was UFC. What was that? UFC 200? No, what was that? What card was that?
205. I don't know.
2 something. The early 200s. And yeah, I mean, how she's handled that whole time off, just getting it out of the spotlight.
Feeling sorry for herself, really.
Yeah, feeling sorry for herself. You hear nothing about, she's having psychological problems and issues stemming from that bus incident. And then people, I don't know, man.
No, yeah, it definitely leaves a bad taste in your mouth when you have a fighter who calls himself Thug and is doing everything completely opposite to that nickname.
Yeah.
And it's instead of, moving on and training, you're bickering and feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
And there comes a point where, as people, as two guys covering the sport that are supposed to be biased, it's kind of hard not to be biased when you see someone's attitude, be that way.
Yeah.
Which has every opportunity to be a good champion and to promote herself. While she does this, it's like, it's distasteful.
And she loses. She's like, and right away she's like, "Oh, I'm glad it's over. I'm glad I'm not the champ anymore. I'm glad the pressure was too much."
That's kind of a juicy move too, because it's like saying that your hair wasn't in it. Or
your head wasn't in, and that's why you lost.
You completely discredit what Jessica Andrade just did.
I'm like, no, you got beat.
It's face it,
you got beat. You took it. I knew it was a long time off, and you look good.
What a sort of loser she was.
Yeah, I like. Oh, I don't know if I really wanted to do this. It was hard for me to even get interested in this fight. And
in a way, good that the UFC got a title off of her.
Yeah, the pressure was too much as a champ. I'm like, what the fuck? That's what you want as a fighter, and then. The only people that say the pressure was too much and they're relieved are the people like George St. Pierre that have defended it 10 times or whatever the fuck. Yeah. It's like even with Tyron Woodley, they were talking about Tyron Woodley and Bisping were talking about the comments of Rose, and they're like when I lost my title, Bisping was already at the end of his career, but Woodley was like, when I lost my title, I didn't. That was not a thought in my head of like, I'm glad it's over. Yeah, like, no, he wants
redemption.
He wants redemption.
Yeah.
Rose, this is your second title defense, and you're claiming that you're glad the whole ride is over. You're glad you're not champ anymore. I don't know.
I mean, people are in the sport to become champion and to make money. So I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think for the UFC, having a Brazilian fighter that doesn't know English, it's going to hurt them a lot.
Oh yeah. Is Rose a better, more marketable fighter? Yes, but she's not a celebrity. She doesn't want to be she doesn't have that mindset. She's it's antisocial.
Yeah.
Just don't talk to me, get the camera away from my face type of person. So almost you might as well just give her a freaking give the title to Jessica Andrade and have her promoted and be some big star in Brazil, because they'll get more out of her than Rose Namajunas ever did with her title.
But I think Jessica's manager mentioned that she's going to start taking English courses, so hopefully we get some sort of English.
And she could make the whole Brazil media runs and just go full on Brazil. But Brazil's a different animal in terms of how they view even, LGBT community. They're not really friendly in that sense. They're very conservative over there. So, Brazil's a different story. But I just thought it was interesting, her comments afterwards, and what to make of her afterwards. We'll see what Rose does if she continues to fight. I think she'll continue to fight. She says she wants to do other stuff with her life, but we'll see what that would even entail. This weekend you have one championship. Has a card, Shinya Aoki versus what's his name? Christian Lee. This is Angela Lee's brother. This is for the I believe the lightweight title, if I'm not mistaken. That's this weekend, 17th over in Singapore, which probably be the 16th here.
Yeah.
Then you have KSW has a card. That one's on DAZN, and you have UFC on ESPN 10. On UFC Plus. Wow. Yeah, I know, right? May 18th this weekend. Dos Anjos versus Kevin Lee. On the card, you have main card. You have prelim main event for the prelims. Sijara Eubanks versus Aspen Ladd. That's a good main event for that prelim card. You have Austin Hubbard, Davi Ramos for the kicking off the main card. Nick Lance versus Charles Oliveira. Megan Anderson versus Felicia Spencer.
Two former Invicta featherweight champions.
Yeah. You have Ian Heish versus Antonio Carlos Jr. You have Derek Kranz versus Vicente Luco in the co-main event. Not a whole lot of big names on this main card, but interesting, very talented up-and-coming fighters.
Yeah.
Charles Oliveira and Nick Lenz are probably the two, veterans out of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. You have Rafael dos Anjos versus Kevin Lee in the main event. Who do you have? What's your pick?
I'm going to pick Kevin Lee.
Who and why?
Because of his grappling. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to he can take down RDA and hold him down. I don't see a stop to this fight. I think it's going to go to decision, and it's going to be mostly Kevin Lee on top.
Yeah. I'm probably going to go with Kevin Lee also, but will Dos Anjos go 0-3 against his last few wrestler strikers? Colby Covington. You had Kamaru Usman, and now possibly Kevin Lee. Mm-hmm. Will he go 0-3 against UFC top level wrestlers?
I think so. Yeah,
we'll see. I think possibly because Dos Anjos has changed camp. He's gone over to Perillo and the Ruka gym. They're primarily more like wrestler strikers, and Dos Anjos, I always felt like that move will hurt him because it will change up his striking game to more of a boxing oriented striking game when he's a Muay Thai type of guy, and he's got to go back to Kings and mix it up or do something because he's got to go to a place that can mix it up better. He's not going to find that at Ruka, so I think he'll probably lose this fight. Yeah, and I'll go Kevin Lee.
Yeah.
And that's this weekend. That's a Saturday. UFC on ESPN 10. It's a great card, great fight. That's our show. Want to see you guys all next week. A brand new episode. Until then, go to MMAComplex.com for everything in the MMA Complex.
Yeah, support our shirt or buy a shirt. $15. It's not expensive. Also, if you listen on iTunes, please rate the show. It'll help the show get noticed. And a pretty decent card next weekend.
Decent card.
Josh and I will be back next weekend to talk all about it and hopefully get a guest. If not, we'll just break down the fights for the next weekend. So until then, enjoy the fights. Enjoy your week.